Hi, it's Dwyer, gamblersadvisory.com. Remember, the opinion you should follow should be your own. Just consider this video to be a second opinion from a complete stranger online. I've gotten my share of emails asking me who I'm taking in the Super Bowl. I think the game's too close to call. I think it's a dangerous game. The way I've played it is already online. I have a video with 2 weeks left in the season where I made the argument that New England stood a very good chance of being the top seed in the AFC. At that time, you could get 4-1 on the Patriots. I've also hedged it based on that 4-1 with the Giants as well. So I'm on both sides of the bet playing futures, right? With regard to the props, however, I think that even in a game that's hard to call, and I think everyone needs to be careful here, because both teams defensively have done much better in the postseason than they did in the regular season. Both teams have elite quarterbacks. Both teams have multiple receiving threats, right? Not only that, people need to realize that when you're analyzing the New England Patriots, just keep in mind that Deion Branch already is a Super Bowl MVP. He already has excelled in the biggest game of the year. And even though he's, let's say, a third option for Tom Brady, he's a dangerous third option. You can't just go by season-long numbers. You actually have to ask yourself which players are ready, can step up in the moment, and have stepped up in the moment. Now, all of that said, I believe that the best bet on the board, and this is obviously setting off alarms, I believe that the best bet on the board is the under 54 points. Now, let me just say, many people have different opinions about this. I've been online reading what handicappers believe is going to happen in this game, and a sizable group, dare I say, at least half of them, believe this game's going to be a shootout and that it's going to go over the 54. So be aware that there is a big difference of opinion in the betting community on this one. But I see this game going under 54 for a host of reasons. The first being, when these two teams last played in the Super Bowl, right? You had Tom Brady, you had Tom Coughlin, the head coach of the Giants, you had Eli Manning, the same key players, right? When these teams played in their last Super Bowl, the Giants held the Patriots to less than 20 points. They held Tom Brady to less than 250 passing yards. Now, I know that that team had Randy Moss, was more of a deep strike type team, and that this team is really more of a tight end team, and that Deion Branch, big game player I mentioned earlier in this video, is back. But my point is, Tom Coughlin has had 2 weeks to prepare. The Giant rush is at least as ferocious this year as it was then, right? Michael Strahan's out. Jason Pierre-Paul is in, right? The Giants are still bringing heat with a four-man front. I think Brady's going to have some of the same problems that he had in that original Super Bowl. Not only that, the team's already played this year, right? And the score in that game was under 54 points. And if you look at that box score, you'll see that Eli Manning in that game against this New England defense did not get 300 passing yards. He threw a pick. Tom Brady threw 2 picks. The interceptions, to me, indicate that the defenses already know the offenses, right? And while it's true that Hakeem Nicks, Ahmad Bradshaw, center David Bass did not play in that game, and while it's true that Eli Manning did not get sacked in that game, understand that Rob Gronkowski Aaron Hernandez, Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis, Tom Brady, they all played for the Patriots. And the Patriots in that game only ended up with 20 points, right? Let me say this too. Understand that in their last games, both of these teams, both of those games, New York against the San Francisco 49ers and the Patriots against the Baltimore Ravens, both of those games came in at under 54 points, right? Also, while we're hearing a lot about the fact that New England ranked 31st in the NFL in passing yards allowed, and of course, while we're hearing that the Giants were not much better, right? What people need to consider is the fact that just in these playoffs, just since the end of the season, the New York Giants have slowed down Matt Ryan and Aaron Rodgers, right? The Giants beat the Falcons. The Giants beat the Green Bay Packers. Look at the numbers of those two elite quarterbacks, right? They were slowed down considerably. The defenses, both defenses, are playing much better now than they were in the regular season. Also, the games that these two teams played, the conference finals, had some troubling aspects to them. Don't look at Victor Cruz's numbers in the first half of the Giant 49er game. Look at his numbers in the second half of that game, right? The 49ers were actually able to contain Victor Cruz. And as much as we all want to believe that the Giants have too many weapons for the Patriots secondary, ask yourself, was Mario Manningham on your Pro Bowl ballot? Is he a burner? Is Victor Cruz a burner? I think the answers are no and no. Ask yourself about New England's team speed. Rob Gronkowski, high ankle sprain, just like Ozzie Umenyiora had a high ankle sprain. Ozzie was out for something like 5 weeks. If Rob Gronkowski goes out there and plays, will he be Rob Gronkowski? Or will he be a decoy limping around, unable to contribute in a meaningful way offensively? Right? Take a look at the box score when these two teams played in the regular season. You're going to see that other than Gronkowski, only Wes Welker had over 100 receiving yards. The rest of the Patriot team was contained, right? Finally, let me just say this. 54 is such a high number that, understand, when Peyton Manning went up against Drew Brees in the Super Bowl just a few years ago, those two teams together didn't get to 54 points, right? If either of these teams, and of course, 54 would be a push on an over-under, but let me say this. If either of these teams scores 20 points, the other team would have to score 34 points just to get to the 54, right? And so I know these teams are high scoring. They're not high scoring against each other. And this is the game you're betting on. You're not betting on Tom Brady against the Jacksonville Jaguars. You're betting on Tom Brady against a Giant team that, for whatever reason, slows him down, right? And of course, you know, the Giants, when they played the Patriots before, they only scored 24 points, right? That was this season. I like the under 54. Understand that I'm a minority voice on this one. Many people, dare I say most people, think that this is going to be a high-scoring game. I don't. I think both of these teams will probably finish somewhere in the 20s, I like the under 54 points. Let me hear from you. Leave your comments for all of us here on YouTube. Criticize me, critique me, blow holes in my analysis. Give your analysis. Just get it out before the Super Bowl so gamblers are able to kind of make a wise pick on Super Bowl Sunday. Good luck. Enjoy the game. Thanks for watching.